All right, let's dive into something pretty major happening over in Asian markets.
Sounds good.
Big merger could really shake things up.
Mm.
We're talking Nikko Asset Management.
Right, Nikko.
Yeah. Soon to be Amova Asset Management, actually.
Hey, the rebranding, right?
Exactly, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
So Nikko, they're huge.
Oh, yeah.
Like one of Asia's biggest asset managers, right? $246 billion, just to give you a sense.
Billion. Wow.
Dollars under management.
That's a lot of weight to throw around.
It is. And they're teaming up with Tikehau Capital.
Now, those guys, they're the private asset specialists.
Yep, private equity, real estate, you name it.
Interesting combo. Very interesting.
That's what we're going to figure out, right?
Right.
What's this mean for investors, for the Asian market, the whole picture?
The whole picture. All right, I like it.
So first things first, they're launching this joint venture.
Ah, yes. Heard about this Tikehau Amova Investment Management.
You got it.
Based in Singapore. That's strategic.
Oh, absolutely. Right in the heart of things.
Makes sense, yeah.
And even the name, they put some thought into it.
Amova. Right.
Yeah, asset management, movement, Nova. That's Latin for new, by the way.
They're not being subtle, are they?
Not really, haha, but I guess that's the point, make a splash.
So, new name, new venture, all happening pretty much at the same time as this merger.
It is. Yeah, lots going on. Makes you wonder, will it work?
Big question. Can they really deliver something new to the Asian market?
Well, let's break it down.
All right, let's do it.
So they're aiming to create these, investment strategies, private asset strategies, specifically for Asia.
Private assets, that's the key here. That's what they're betting on.
Right, and it's stuff that hasn't really been easily accessible in this region before.
No, not really. Not for the average investor, at least.
Exactly. So why are they focusing on this? Why now?
Investor demand. Simple as that. Asian investors, they're getting more sophisticated. They want diversification. They see the potential, right? Higher returns, especially as Asia keeps growing.
It's like they're opening up a door that was previously closed to a lot of people.
You could say that, yeah, and that's a big deal.
It is. And it's not just about returns either.
Right. They're pushing this whole decarbonization thing, too.
Yep. Sustainable investing. It's everywhere these days.
It is, but what does it actually mean in this context? That's what I'm curious about.
Me too. Good question.
Because, it's easy to throw buzzwords around.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But they're saying they'll have this dedicated decarbonization strategy.
Right. Like, are they actually going to put their money where their mouth is?
That's what we need to see. But if they do, think about it. Renewable energy projects, green technology, all that. It's a growing market.
And in Asia especially.
Exactly. So for investors, this could be a chance to get in early, on something big.
Invest in the future, literally.
Exactly, but big if, right? Can they actually pull it off?
That's always the question, isn't it?
It is, especially when you're talking about this level of ambition.
All right, so they've got the goal, they're targeting this high demand area, and they're trying to tap into this, sustainability wave.
Sounds good on paper.
Right. But how are they actually going to reach all these investors?
Well, they're not starting from scratch.
True.
They've got the combined networks of both Nikko, or Amova, I guess, and Tikehau.
Oh, yeah. Global reach right there.
Huge pool of potential investors all over the world, ready to go.
And Tikehau, they've been busy in Asia lately.
Oh, yeah. They're not messing around.
New office opening in Hong Kong, fourth one in Asia Pacific.
They're serious about this market.
Seems like it. Yeah, and they partnered with Flow Capital. That's for co-investment opportunities.
Smart move, leveraging local expertise.
Exactly. And they even have this private credit strategy with UOB Kay Hian.
Keeping busy, I see. Very busy.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they are. But it makes sense, right?
Oh, yeah.
Tikehau sees Asia as this big growth market.
Huge potential there.
And this merger with Nikko, well, Amova now, it's a major step, solidifying their presence.
Makes them a major player overnight, basically.
It does, but this whole thing,
Yeah.
This isn't just about these two companies, right?
No, this is bigger. It's a trend we're seeing across the whole industry.
The Bain & Company report, right?
That's the one.
They basically said, hey, traditional asset managers, you need to get into alternatives, partnerships, acquisitions, whatever it takes.
The writing's on the wall.
Yeah, and we've already seen it happening. BlackRock buying HPS Investment Partners, Regal Partners, GQG Partners. Everyone's jumping in.
Can't blame them. Got to stay ahead of the curve.
And Bain predicts this is only going to speed up.
Buckle up. 2025 is going to be a wild ride.
So this Nikko Amova TK thing, it's not just a one-off, it's a sign of the times,
It is. It's how the industry is evolving, how it's responding to what investors want, how the lines are blurring between traditional and alternative investments.
Right. Like, what even is traditional anymore?
Exactly. The lines are getting fuzzy.
So let's not forget about that rebranding Nikko to Amova. Pretty bold move in the middle of all this.
It is bold. Yeah, you got to wonder what they're thinking.
Signaling a new era, that's what they say.
Got to sound good to those international investors.
Exactly. More modern, more appealing globally. That's the goal.
$1 million question. Will it be enough to cut through the noise?
Well, they're definitely trying to appeal to a wider audience. They even broke down how the name reflects their business. You know, asset management, that's the core.
Right, back to basics.
But then movement, Nova, that's about adaptability, being forward-thinking.
Trying to shake off that old school image.
Yeah, exactly. But will investors buy it?
Only time will tell, I guess.
One thing's for sure, they're still part of Sumitomo Mitsui Trust Group, so it's not like they're abandoning their roots completely.
It's an evolution, not a revolution, right? Building on what they've already got.
Exactly. So we've set the stage. Major merger, new name, new focus on Asia and private assets.
A lot to unpack.
It is. So let's get into it. What could this merger actually mean for the Asian investment landscape?
Yeah, that's the question.
That's what we're here to find out.
All right, let's dive in. Hashtag TTS The Deep Dive, episode 2025-0226, part 2 of 3. Well, for me, one of the biggest things could be this, kind of like opens up private assets in Asia, makes them more accessible.
Democratization, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, exactly. Like before it was all big institutions, super rich individuals, that kind of crap.
The average investor didn't really have a shot.
Right, but now this merger could change that, open those doors a bit wider.
So we're talking potential for like a real shift in how wealth is built in Asia. That's huge.
It is. It's ambitious, no doubt, but it's also smart business.
How so?
Think about it. Nikko or Amova, whatever we're calling them, they get Tikehau's expertise, right? Private assets, European connections, all that.
And Tikehau, they get a partner who knows Asia inside and out.
Exactly. Win-win, classic.
Okay, but let's get down to brass tacks here.
Yeah.
They keep saying innovative private asset strategies. What does that even mean?
Good question. It's got to be more than just, repackaging old ideas.
Right, give me specifics.
Okay, so imagine funds focused on sectors that are hot in Asia right now.
Like what?
Renewable energy infrastructure. Got to tie into that decarbonization push, right?
Makes sense.
Or maybe they come up with completely new investment structures, something tailored for Asian investors specifically.
So it's not just about taking what works elsewhere and plopping it down in Asia.
No,
Yeah.
got to be more thoughtful than that. Understand the nuances, the local context.
Innovation, customization, got it.
Yeah, and they've definitely got the resources, the expertise to do it. That's what makes this so interesting to watch. Could really be a game changer.
But let's be real, there are always challenges.
Oh, for sure. Nothing's a guaranteed slam dunk.
What do you see as potential roadblocks?
Well, first off, regulations. Asia's a patchwork. Every country's different.
Navigating that's got to be a nightmare.
It is, especially for a new entity like this joint venture.
Like competition, right?
Oh, yeah. Fierce competition. Local players who've been there forever. Global giants all sniffing around.
So they're going to have to fight for every inch,
Exactly. And it's not just about having the best product. You got to build trust, too.
especially in Asia.
Right. Relationships matter. Got to have that personal touch. Show you understand the culture.
So it's a long game. They can't expect to just waltz in and take over.
No, patience, adaptability. That's key here.
Okay, zooming out a bit, Bain & Company, they said this whole trend of traditional asset managers moving into alternatives, it's going to accelerate.
Yeah, they're all over this.
What's driving that, you think?
Couple things. First, investors are hungry for alternative, low interest rates, volatile markets. They're looking for something different.
Diversification, higher returns, that's the appeal.
Exactly. Supply and demand. Simple as that.
And on the other side, the traditional firms, they're feeling the squeeze. Fees are down, margins are tight.
Got to find new ways to grow. Alternatives are tempting. Lots of potential revenue there.
So it's like this symbiotic relationship. They need each other, right?
You could say that, yeah, traditional guys need the growth. Alternative guys need the reach. Perfect match.
Like two puzzle pieces click right into place.
That's a good analogy. And this merger, it's a perfect example of that dynamic playing out.
Traditional versus alternative, those lines are getting blurrier every day.
Soon we won't even talk about it like that. It'll all just be investing, period.
All right, back to Nikko for a second. That rebrand to Amova, risky move.
It is, yeah. Ditching a well-known name, that's always a gamble.
Could backfire?
Totally. Investors might get confused, or worse, they just don't connect with the new brand. Takes years to rebuild that kind of recognition.
And you could lose loyal clients, people who've been with Nikko for a long time.
Change can be scary, even if it's ultimately good for you.
But there's also potential upside, right?
Big time. A successful rebrand can revitalize a company, bring in new investors, signal a fresh start.
And with Nikko, this isn't just about the name. It reflects a deeper shift in their strategy.
Exactly. They're trying to project this image, more modern, dynamic, in tune with what global investors want.
Appealing to a new generation, the ones who are tired of the old ways of doing things.
And a name like Amova, it's got that energy, that modern feel.
Sounds innovative, forward-thinking, which is exactly what they need to be.
Calculated risk, no doubt, but the payoff could be huge if they pull it off.
Okay, so big picture, what are the key takeaways here for our listeners?
This is the thing. Asian investment landscape, it's changing big time.
We've got this convergence of traditional and alternative asset management, this focus on sustainability, global investors pouring in.
It's a whole new ball game.
And this merger, what's right at the heart of it, shows how asset managers are adapting, becoming more dynamic, more innovative.
More responsive to what investors actually want.
So for our listeners, this means more opportunities, more choices, more ways to diversify, more ways to align your investments with your values.
But it also means you got to be smarter, more informed, do your research.
The landscape's getting complex, got to understand the risks, make decisions that work for you.
Don't be afraid to explore, though. That's the key. Ask questions, get advice, challenge assumptions.
The more you know, the better equipped you'll be to navigate all this.
And there are some exciting opportunities out there for sure.
All right, as we wrap up this deep dive, one final thought-provoking question for everyone. Hashtag TTS The Deep Dive Episode 2025 Zoo 226, Part 3 of 3.
So thinking about this merger, their focus on Asia, this whole decarbonization thing, what specific industries or sectors do you think are going to benefit the most from this?
That's the billion-dollar question, isn't it?
It is. And how do you think this whole venture might change, how investors approach Asian markets in the coming years?
Oh, well, I definitely think, we'll see a lot more investment in renewable energy.
Yeah, makes sense.
Electric vehicles, green building technologies, sustainable agriculture, basically anything that helps decarbonize those booming Asian economies.
It's kind of cool to think this merger could actually, help build a more sustainable future for the whole region.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it goes beyond just the environment, too. This could push investors to look beyond just, profits, think more holistically about Asia, consider the social impact, the environmental impact of their investments. So it's not just about making money, it's about making a positive impact too, right?
Exactly. And I think that idea is really gaining traction. We're seeing this shift towards more responsible investing everywhere.
And this merger could be like a catalyst for that in Asia.
Yeah, definitely could be.
Wow, we've covered a lot today, haven't we?
I have.
This merger, the rebranding, those broader trends we talked about, it's a lot.
It is a lot to digest.
But hopefully, our listeners are leaving with a better understanding of just how big this could be, this whole partnership.
Oh, for sure. It's fascinating stuff. I always enjoy breaking this down with you.
Me too. I mean, it's amazing to think about, right? One merger can have these ripple effects, change the whole global economy.
It's true. The butterfly effect, right?
Exactly. And this is really just the start. The merger's still new. Who knows what'll happen, how it'll all play out in Asia.
A lot of unknowns, but that's what makes it so interesting.
Yeah, what strategies will they come up with? Will investors buy in? So many questions. Yeah.
Exactly. So to our listener, I say this. Stay curious, stay informed, keep watching the space.
Because who knows what'll happen next, right?
Yeah.
That's what's so great about the financial world. It's always changing, always something new to learn.
Absolutely. Always a new challenge, a new opportunity.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone.
Always a pleasure.
Until next time, happy investing.